they have historians like telling the story, but they have like actors reenacting it. So it's like they
okay.
So and there's titties of hearts in there too. So perk my history. That's how you learn. Like what? Excuse me. There's
dude, titties throughout history. What a great book.
That's our next venture. We're gonna Tim and Sir, titties in history.
That's it.
Welcome to the Chip and Cern Show, the podcast about everything and nothing at the same time. They were possibly separated at birth, only to be rejoined to create the sweet sounds that will caress your deepest cochlea. The show is real, random, rant-filled, and ruthless. Please be warned that this show may hurt your feelings, offend your grandma, and even kick your dead dog in the balls. So get ready, and let's get this shit started.
This shit has started. I'm Chip.
I'm Cern.
And you are listening to the Chip and Cern Show.
Yes. Once again, or possibly, for the very first time.
Yeah. Well, for the first time, we're mixing up. We rarely in our 300 plus episodes have deviated from the norm, but we're testing a new platform out today.
Out with Zoom. We used to do this in person, and then
that was V1 in person.
Yeah. And then we kicked it off as Zoom. We went tech, and Zoom is lost its edge.
I don't know what it is, but it's behind the scenes. It's been crashing on us during the show when we're in the middle of hilarity, as you all as the Cerny Slits and the Chipmunks know. We're in the middle of hilarity, and the fucking thing craps out on us.
Stops the flow of genius. Stops it right in its tracks.
I mean,
derails.
Comedic blue balls is what was happening to us on a regular basis, so we had to try something else out. But we're here, and well, in the last week since we chatted, Cerny, the startings of World War III have gone underway. Putin has invaded the neighboring country of Ukraine. War crimes are being committed. There's already loss of life, civilian life. It's a very unfortunate thing, obviously. Fuck Russia, I believe is what we're trying. Fuck Putin.
Yeah,
that's mostly what we're trying to get across here. But I don't.
Not if you're Tucker Carlson. Not if you're Tucker Carlson. He's pulling for Russia.
And
which
Trump
is insane
too.
If you think about it, because if you think of a party, the GOP is like forever. It's like it's like the Red Scare and McCarthy's like Red List or whatever the fuck. I can't remember the official name of it off the top of my head. They were communist sympathizers. They had the mob out to get your ass if they even thought about it. And now they're like, he's not such a bad guy.
It's totally
that's crazy.
What do they stand for? Because it's always flipping and flopping. When Reagan was out, it was like, oh fuck you, the Russians and all this stuff. And then now they're like, well, genius,
which makes sense. I mean, they've been our enemy for. I mean, they've been our enemy
40,
forever.
50 years. Yeah.
I mean, even when we were allies, we're still like, we're like frenemies. We were frenemies at the moment.
We never anything. But I will say it has been, I would say the positive thing that I'm trying to take out is how everyone's banding up together and just saying, fuck this shit. All the sanctions that are being rained down.
Yeah.
We were talking before the show, Anonymous has stepped up in a big way. cyber attacks, cyber warfare.
So hopefully,
I don't know much, but I wouldn't be fucking with Anonymous.
No, I think he can get into your dark secrets.
I wouldn't.
Chip seemed to browse a website. He somehow came across some interesting search histories.
So a stumble start on the new recording software, but anyway,
learning curve.
Everyone's banded up. There's always going to be a learning curve with this, but everyone's the world versus Putin is how it feels right now.
Putin, Belarus, and China. Iran. I think they're all,
Yeah.
North Korea.
What's
the fucking the
oh
F table.
yes, the megalomaniacs. Yeah, yeah, they're in the way back table. What's Belarus doing? They're just a cuck, basically, and they're just like, oh,
Yeah,
Daddy Putin needs us to. Okay, yeah,
Yeah. Do you
But
need a
they're
little
not.
handy while you're over here talking to me too?
yeah. I mean, and it's serious when you have the likes of Sweden and Switzerland like taking a stand.
Yeah, I know. Usually they're like, I don't want any part of this. I don't give a shit what goes after.
They're
Leave
like,
me alone. But now they're
no.
like, ooh, I can't. We got
They're like,
we got
we
to stand.
can't.
We're picking a side. Like, oh, you fucked up.
I mean, Russia just invaded them for absolutely there's no cause and just killing people for no. I mean,
He just wanted it. He wanted to restore his empire.
Yeah.
But,
it's
not even his empire. It was
yeah, I don't know
empire
who was
1900.
who was yeah. I'm well out of my safety zone on the geopolitical spectrum now. My 4 sentences of effort.
It's almost like they had the Russian Empire back in like 1900, when before it fell apart with the Tsar Nicholas Romanov, and then after the collapse of the Soviet Union, so I think he kind of wants to I think Putin's still back in the heyday.
He's in the Cold
Imperial section, and on top of that, I don't think he wanted. And I know he didn't want Ukraine to join NATO because he's kind of like Stalin in a way where they see NATO as like this Western force that's going to destroy.
Yes.
And I get
westernize everything.
Yeah, destroy the tyrannical rule they have over these people.
Yeah, I mean,
you have actual information. We don't get spoon fed bullshit.
He's it's just it's a threat against his his way of doing things. Yeah, it's just an obstacle in his way. NATO.
I wouldn't be mad if I saw, they dusted off the old machine gun killing like they did with little Tsar Nicholas.
Is that how they put him down? With like a,
I don't know if it was machine guns. They basically shipped him like they were in hiding, and then they were keeping him at a house, and then they moved him in the middle of the night, and basically almost like a shipping container. They said that they were going to move him to safety, and then just let the family have it. The sad part is about
the shipping container.
Yeah, it was like this room. They just fucking unloaded him, the whole family. The sad part is, which is kind of weird, because they wore their jewels like in their underwear and stuff, so they had like the most expensive bulletproof. So it took like several rounds of them like having to reload.
Because all their diamonds and shit were in there. Wow. This is stuff you get only if your parent is a history major.
Yeah.
And a history teacher.
Fun facts.
Yeah, I might have to read up on that. That seems interesting. But
do you have Netflix?
We do, yes.
So they have this thing. I saw this. It's called The Last Tsar, I think, and it's like almost one of those. They have historians like telling the story, but they have like actors reenacting it. So it's like they.
Okay.
So, and there's titties of heart in there too. So, perk my history. That's how you learn. Like, what? Excuse me. There's
dude, titties throughout history. What a great book.
That's our next venture. We're gonna titties in history.
That's it.
Titties throughout history.
Okay. Titties throughout history. A journey of the best breasts.
Starting with Cleopatra.
In the last, yes.
We'll start at the beginning.
Starting with Eve. And and she got I guess she didn't get cock blocked. She got
the boot.
Yeah. I guess kind of cock blocked by that fucking snake.
Yeah.
But, that's why I don't like snakes. Speaking of snakes, MLB commissioner Rob Manfred he put a letter to baseball fans. Now, today, at the time of recording, the MLB officially canceled the first week or so of games, right, Cerny?
Yeah, it's like opening day, I think.
Opening day and opening week. Now, mind you, I would say Chip and Cern are hashtag team players.
Yes.
We're rooting for the players. Fuck the owners. The MLB and the teams have grown 17 seasons increasing profits over the last year for the last 17 seasons up until, not counting the COVID seasons. And the last few years. Yeah. And the last few years, the MLB player salaries have been declining. And there's some really interesting data and stats about this. It was something like 60% of the players make less than $1 million, which now we're just going to preface that and saying we know $1 million is a lot of money. Yes, we're not discounting.
No.
We're not discounting that they're very fortunate to be in that position. But when you think about the amount of money that the MLB is making, which was, you said it was like $17 billion is the value.
Yeah, it's not even close to,
And the players are product, essentially, if you want to really distill it down. And if the product is getting you that much profit, you've got to pay it down a little bit more. And I think that's really what one of the main sticking points for the players union is that they want everyone to be paid more and actualize, for example, if you have one of your prospects come up through the minors, you basically get them for 3 or 4 or 5 seasons for like pennies on the dollar.
Yeah, comparatively.
Couple $100,000 maybe. Again, it's a lot of money, but they're selling their salary plus just an extra hats that people buy just from having this player on the team, not to mention all the other revenue.
And their career isn't, they're not playing to 85. They're, I don't see I don't see the hey kid out there swinging the stick still. I mean, he's done. He's been done for 40 fucking years. So.
Yeah. And I mean, a lot of these people, you are foregoing college and all this stuff, and you don't have any career after you stop playing baseball. And the vast majority of the players are not the Buster Posies or the Mike Trouts, right? They're just the Ham and Eggers who are playing 2 or 3 seasons and then they're out of the game.
Uh-huh.
And, if you make $200,000 for 3 years in a row, that's great money. But when you're out of the game, you have nothing.
Yeah.
You don't,
it's like,
you might have a college.
I think I heard this thing a while ago where it's like the average lifespan, and I can't remember the exact terms, but so it's like the average career span of a baseball player is like 5 years, I think it is.
Okay.
And
interesting.
The rookie contracts, when you get called up, span 6 years. So they do it because they did the math. They did the analytics on it. It's like saying, if you can make it past this, then we'll pay you because, you're a superstar. But the majority of them, the players don't make it that far. So they're just going to pay them the bare minimum kind of shit.
Exactly. And, the Bryce Harper $300 million contracts and the Mike Trout $300, these are once in a generational type of players that are making this money.
Headlines.
This isn't.
They get all the headlines, but it's not. If how many players are there in the MLB? And you see who's the guy?
30 teams have. There's got to be there's thousands of players. So the owners have let the agreement expire, and they're framing it kind of using, we using the state-run media, MLB.com, Manfred's state-run media department, to put out these press releases about, the owners are coming to the table, and it's the player, trying to cast it as the players
I think Anonymous intercepted a message from Manfred to Putin. How do you phrase? Can you edit this for me, please? Send a little draft, little peer edit,
copy edits. Can I get a couple copy edits on this? I'm about to publish this letter to baseball fans.
What's your style? What do you think?
But honestly, I'm upset with how the owners and the MLB are not having good faith negotiations. And they're setting these arbitrary deadlines like today, Tuesday at 7 p.m. Eastern. If there's not a collective bargaining agreement in place, we have to cancel the season or the first week. You don't have to. Why? Because they want
to talk
they're just
because it's going to hurt.
Yep.
Garrett Coles and stuff of the world. That's the play. But here's the other thing: on the back end of that agreement, they want to do that new style of playoffs. The extended version, almost like the
16
NFL.
Fucking teams, or
it's almost the NFL.
Teams?
It's like so now it's like okay, so if you're going to cancel it, then fuck it. We don't agree to the other part. That they kind of already tentatively agreed to. Now it's like you got everyone starting to dig in on each side. It's like, boy.
It was actually, I mean, I think if you're in the nuance and you're in the weeds of what's happening with the MLB negotiations, you see through the MLB and the owners' sort of facade that they're putting up about these deadlines. And then negotiation talks were heating up last night. They were being serious. They were talking. It had seemed like many, many hours, maybe 12 hours in negotiations, but then they weren't able to reach any agreement. And they sort of, and it's like, well, we tried, we really tried in this 2 hours. It's like, well, what about the 3 months?
Yeah.
When you didn't spend more than fucking 12 minutes with them. Like, where were you then?
And it's like, you give those half-hearted, like, we tried to come to an agreement with you. It's like, no, you didn't.
Yeah.
They have
Cerny, what
stupid
is
demands or whatever it was.
Yeah. Let's read through this letter here. Fucking Manfred. What did he?
I'm going to restart my browser. Trying to get back over there.
Oh, I got it here.
Okay.
First of all, this is released at 7:10 p.m. So 10 minutes after the arbitrary fucking deadline that they set up was up, basically.
Okay.
To our fans, semicolon. Interesting. I had hoped against hope that I would not have to be in the position of canceling games. We worked hard to avoid an outcome that is bad for our fans, bad for our players, and bad for our clubs. I will say he did omit the Oxford comma, so demerits.
Demerits right there. That's a mark. In the negative.
I don't know how much of this I can stomach. I want to assure our fans
it's
that
bad for our players, bad for our clubs, but not bad for your wallet. For your wallet, you give a fuck about the players' wallet.
Yes.
For your wallet. Go on.
Yes, that's true. I want to assure our fans that our failure to reach an agreement was not due to lack of effort on the part of either party. The players came here for 9 days, worked hard, and tried to make a deal. I appreciate their effort. I don't like.
That's
it
like.
Seems like
that's like.
Yeah.
Here you go. This is like. Appreciate your effort. That's like.
It's one of these like backhanded compliments, like, "Oh, that was a good try."
We're going to forego bonuses this year, but we really appreciate and value everybody's work and commitment every day. Yes, that shit like that. It's like, fuck.
I mean, literally, the same thing's happening in the MLB that's happening with the great resignation that we're seeing, right? The people at the top are making all the fucking money, and everyone at the bottom who are doing the work and breaking their backs ain't making shit compared to what the CEO is making.
So
and when times to come around for, you want to raise? Oh, we couldn't do this, so we got you 3%, and then you hear the CEO gets a 42% bonus or some bullshit like that.
Yeah, like the Chipotle
it's just
guy.
enraging.
Like, Chipotle CEO.
Yeah.
Like, we got to take up prices because this is crazy inflation. It's like, you got a $20 million bonus last year for having hard times. What the fuck?
I'll tell you, if I had $20 million, I wouldn't have any hard times.
No.
Isn't that the point of having $20 million? Have no hard times?
I had this discussion with my wife because I was talking about some CEOs and stuff. He had some figures that I was known. And I said, you know what? If I ever made, it was like something like, I forget what it was exactly, but it was like he makes like $11 million a year, plus he gets 2 bonuses at like 50% of that. She's like, wow. And I was like, and he's been the CEO for like 10 fucking years. She's like, wow. I was like, if I made that, I would work 1-2 years tops, and I'm out. I don't give a shit.
Yeah. You'd be like, yo, I'm 39 and I'm retiring. and I have so much money. I'm just going to travel around and just have fun with my family.
My golf game will, the lefty can slide over, make room.
Watch out, Phil. We got a new lefty coming.
Yeah,
through.
you lost your seat for your running your fucking trap about whatever he was doing. I can't even read the whole story, but
how many hours of private golf lessons do you think we would need to like be willing to show our face?
I don't know, but if I retired, I would sure have the time to do it.
I think that maybe if we maybe 3 days a week with the lessons, hit at the driving range a little bit, and then playing a couple rounds a week. I think our game would we take off. We'd be pretty good.
Yeah, we'd be counting on Joe. Although I think if we had to if you and I retired and did this elephant walked into the the lessons, I think we need an extra day.
Yeah.
I think the amount of horse around we would do in the first part of each lesson would be.
It would be.
It would be like Bloody Mary to start off. Guys, this is lessons. This isn't golf. Come on. I gotta get the full experience of how I'm actually gonna be when I'm golfing.
Hold on. Look, I got a J hanging on my lip. I'm like, hold on. I'm gonna hit my little wedge here.
I gotta play I'm gonna practice like I want to play.
Yeah, I gotta practice like
swerving. I play swerving, so I gotta practice swerving.
Yeah. It what that took me back to was PE class of sophomore year, where we, first of all, can you believe they allowed us to have actual bow and arrows?
I can't. I was just talking
in high school.
Wife. We were talking about something with I remember.
We'll come back to MLB stuff in a second, but
I was telling her about that. About the.
How did we not put one in someone's leg? I don't know.
Remember that girl got pissed and pulled the fucking arrow at us?
Oh, she aimed it at us?
Yeah, you don't remember that? Because she was sucking.
And we were riding her pretty hard, probably.
Yeah, you were saying something. You and I think it was you and Rod were running your mouth, and she got pissed, and she pulled. She had it cocked already. She just turned around and said she was going to let it go. We all hit the deck.
Fuck.
And no one even saw it. Remember? I remember no one saw it. No one, no supervisor, adult saw it, or if he did, he didn't give a shit. He might assume
he's
get shot.
That guy has been running his mouth.
Yeah, he might want to take one in the thigh. Might do him good.
That'll shut him up for a little bit. I mean, the first day they're like, okay, we have 10 pound, 15 pound, and 30 pound test bows. I guess the tension of the string and the higher the test, the more tension it has. So the faster and further you're going to shoot it.
Yeah.
He goes, you don't need the 30 pound ones. That's what that's what he told everyone. But to me, that came in as grab the 30 pound because it's going to be the most fun.
Yes. I remember.
And
he shot. Remember he shot. It was giving instructions, and he missed the bullseye. I mean, he hit the target. You're like, nice shot. And then he said, "Come on up here, wise ass," and then you fucking nailed it.
I do remember that. That was fucking luck.
He was right down the middle. He's like, "Do it again." He's like, "Nope, I retire."
Yeah, I knew when don't kick the gift horse in the mouth. Remember we shot it through the hay bale. So our archery or our PE class sophomore year in California, every week or 2 weeks, we would kind of shift around sports. So you play basketball for a week and they would kind of, you would learn the fundamentals, lacrosse, soccer, softball.
Yeah, we know all this shit.
All sort of stuff. Archery was one of them. And so they had probably all these hay bales. This is in the spring too. So the grass is just reeked of baseball season.
Yeah.
Cerny and I, we were just in heat. We were in baseball heat. We couldn't be stopped. And they had hay bales lined up, and then they would have these, targets over the front of them. Basically, you would just stand there with the bow and try to see what you could shoot.
But that's where you would do the 10 pound would be at a certain distance, the 20 pound would be a little farther.
Yep.
And then we would really take the 30 pound and roll up to the fucking 10 pound and just snap it right.
And we shot the arrow through the fucking hay bale. I'm honestly,
are
they still doing that right now? There's no way they're
archery?
doing that.
I don't think so. I don't think so.
We did a lot of stupid shit with the bow and arrows.
Oh yeah, we did.
Remember we had that water bottle, and I remember stepping on the water bottle,
God.
like on the side, and then like pulling the arrow up, but pointing it down. I'm like, I'm gonna shoot this at the water bottle. It'll be so cool.
It didn't go through like we thought.
It didn't. It didn't go through, but
It ricocheted.
I could have went right through my fucking foot.
It ricocheted.
Easily.
It bounced off and went sideways. Like, we're not do that again. I think we got caught on that one. And he's like, hey, I remember Mr. J was like, hey, idiots, don't do that shit again. I'm like, okay, sorry.
That was us though.
Yeah, we were constantly. See, I was just telling Robin. So, side view, Zach got a little bit of trouble. Got himself a detention the other day.
Oh, interesting. Okay.
So he was like sitting. Like he was doing what we used to do. Remember, we used to like sit next to each other with his friend. And
yeah,
the teacher
just
said,
fucking around in class.
Teacher said, "Get up," and he acted like he didn't hear her. She said, "You got to move over here." So he's getting up, and he was trying to mumble like the kids nowadays. They say, "What a slime bag." They do that. Well, she heard it.
What a slime bag.
You know, she heard
Nice.
it. I was like, so. Now, obviously, Robin was like furious. You know, the mom's furious.
Okay.
I was like, fuck. You know, I was like, come on, dude. I said, you can't. I see. First off, it's slime ball or scumbag. You can't fuck.
You can't be a slime bag.
First off, my major beef is you slime bag. You're mixing them up. Second off, I said, come on, you can't do it where you get hurt. But anyway, you know, the mom was pissed. So she was yelling about it. I said, listen, Chipper and I, we spent plenty of times in trouble. I said, he's just goofing off. I said, he's probably getting a laugh. And the teacher had said he gets laughs. So he
of course.
continues to, I said, I said, listen, I tell her about the time. Remember we had to jump in the pool and then jump out and sip and push up in front of all the girls. Well, it was like, because we had swimming first thing in the morning.
Cerny, I don't know how you remember all this stuff. I don't remember any of that.
It was 4 of us. It was you, Ike, Rod.
Did we have to do crab walks and stuff?
We had to do crab walks when we were.
Okay, I kind of remember.
We had to do crab walks with the tennis thing where we were. So when we were playing tennis, like across like the tennis over the chain link fence.
Oh yeah.
He told us to knock it off, and then we did it.
He
told us to knock it off again, and then we did it again. And then he's like, okay. And then we had a crab walk it was a long time too. I was dying.
Dude, yeah. Oh, that's right. Okay, so each tennis court had like a regular chain link fence, but there was like 2 tennis courts in there. But we were playing
2 tennis courts in each little box.
From chain link fence to each box. Just fucking around.
Hitting fucking people
like
left
it
and
was
right.
a baseball. Yeah. Oh, just all we would. We were such a liability in class. So why did we have to jump in the pool so early?
You and Ike were fighting. So then
we were beefing?
Yeah, you were beefing. I think, like, remember it was over the binders.
He took my hat.
And you took his binder. And then this spilled over out of the pool. So
okay, so a little bit of context for everyone at our school in high school. What was in the binders? But it's how you got credit for the day, right? Yeah, you got credit for the day, and like remember when you did your we started out like doing remember like the square dancing. You got like checked off. You had to do some sort of health project too. Okay, you got it checked off too. Okay, so the binder was key for you to get a good grade. You had your mile and a half times. Remember we had to log your mile times and stuff every day. So me and the best player on the basketball team, Ike, who's a great dude. How tall is that? He's a good friend. He was 6'8", I think, right? He's like 6'8", just giant human. Him and I would just fuck around with each other just because it was fun. Yeah, it wasn't actual beef. And we were just we were friends, and we would just be horsing around. So we had this thing that we would grab each other's binders and try to hide it from the other person, or like throw it in a fucking tree, or slide it on the bleachers. And I had this baseball hat I would wear. He stole that hat to try to use it as leverage to get the binder. I think that's how there was this whole beef, like the whole semester. They had to get the keys out. They had to get the keys out to let the bleachers out. We had to call a truce, I believe, is how the binders. And because we're like, dude, Mr. J was a little pissed. We got to get our grade. I don't want to do this anymore. All right, truce. But at this point, it was still live. And there was a beef. So I think it was hot, and I think it was like
we were pushing in the bleachers, and then obviously I think Rod had picked,
the feud was hot.
Like the Axis powers. He picked Ike's team, so I picked your team. So we were kind of horsing around. He told us to stop talking, and I don't think we even heard him tell us that, because he said, "Boys, you four in the pool, jump in the pool." And it was like, remember PE at this time was like 7:45 in the morning. It was cold. It was like January, because we had the springtime, so it was a January. So it was, and the pool was heated, so you jump in, but he's like, "Get out!" And then we had to stay in push-up position in front of all the girls.
Probably in the 50s.
Well, he told us what to do, and then everyone else got to do whatever. We had to stand there, and I remember it was miserable.
Oh,
yeah, I think so. Yep, that's right. At that point in time,
in front of my new girlfriend, probably. In front of my girlfriend, who might become my wife. Funny enough, was in that class. I don't know how. That's actually the first time I met her. Was people always say, when the first time you met your wife, do you remember? And it was in that PE class, and we were playing volleyball, and the whistle had blown to cease hitting the ball. But to me, that just meant one more for a good time's sake. And old Cerne, check it out. Check it out, Cern. Fucking spiked it.
It was actually
into just a crowd of people
buckled
coming in hot at probably 60 miles an hour.
I remember you hitting it and hitting her in the face. I remember thinking, I don't even want to walk over there, because I don't want to be guilty by association.
Square in the face. Collapsed. And everyone looked over, and I was like, "Oh fuck!" And I was like, "Oh my god!" So I ran over there, and I'm like, and then I looked to my wife now, and I'm like, "Oh, I'm sorry." She goes, "Well, you didn't hit me. You hit
that's right. That's right. Now you made a few girls cry.
So I was like, "Sorry."
Remember, you hit the other girl in the face in handball, because you were
the woman who I hit was at.
Remember, you were trying to get back at our previous member, Ike. Remember, he had hit you. Yeah. Oh yeah, we were reckless. I remember him hitting you with a ball. And you grabbing it and saying, "Fuck you, Ike," and you turn around and heave as hard as you can, but you missed him, and she was standing right behind him and smoked her right in the face. I was like, "Oh no!"
Oh, Eric.
Oh yeah, she was super nice. She never bothered anybody. Yes.
Fuck. And she's very nice, right? I remember. AJ is her initials. A. Okay, yeah. See, I don't feel good about that. Yeah, I mean, in PE class, we were just supercharged, testosterone supercharged the whole time. I don't know. I guess I did bash a couple ladies in the face. I remember.
Yeah, a few times you hit me in the head with the pickleball.
Oh yeah. I mean, and it wasn't just I was just all over the place, just over competitive, too much energy. I think was my main problem. Anyway, and mostly trying to get laughs, which is how we got into your kid getting. Yeah,
getting that's attention. Just So I got what he was doing. Just trying to get some laughs. The usual.
What is attention? What exactly is that entail these days?
It was like 30 minutes. I think he had to go sit in the office after school. The usual.
Oh, so then you get to pick him up later. Sounds like a benefit.
Yeah, I know. I was like, oh man,
free childcare. Sweet.
Well, it's only 30 minutes. I was like, oh
man, I can't even get anything with that. Oh man. Well, Bob Manfred is he's trying to ruin it for us fans here. That he points out in his letter that they've we've listened to the Players Association through this process. A primary goal of the Players Association has been to increase the pay for younger players. As I have said previously, we agree and share that goal. We offered to raise the minimum salary to $700,000, an increase of blah 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 from blah blah blah. We offered to create a bonus pool of $30 million for the best young players. So he's putting all these stats in here. So interesting.
It's just kind of, I think he's just padding the stats. But we have this and we have that, and we did this and we did that, and it's like, come on.
what I would love to see is like, what was the player's first ask? Like, what was that minimum salary supposed to be? $1 million? And they're like, oh, we're only going to give you 700,000. Or, that's what I want to see.
Yeah, if it's that close, or if it's like, they asked for, 2 million and 7, so it's not even half of what they asked for, something of that nature.
Yeah, and a raise of $100,000 again to the average Joe who makes, what's the average salary in the United States? Like 45, 60,000 or something, 50,000 or whatever. $100,000 is like righteous bucks. So they're, why are these guys complaining? They just play a game for fun. And it's like, whoa, put time out. Per player, the owners are making millions of dollars per player. And they're just asking for a little bit of more of a taste.
Yeah.
So anyway, we're team players association for sure.
Team player association. How much is each player worth, and then or how much are they generating, and then how much are they being compensated off of that? Well,
yep.
Obviously, I'll guess it shouldn't be 100% of.
Sure.
But
yeah, I mean
somewhere close.
Right. I thought someone tweeted this very interesting thought. Just a good thought, and it's like, if you, let's just say there's 1,000 MLB players. If you took the next 1,000 talented baseball players as your product, I think your product over time would decline. If you took the next 30 business people to be owners, you would still, unless you tripped over yourself literally, you still could run a very successful business. So what they were trying to say is, you need the product, which is the good players that you have. Not anyone can run a business with the right people around them. Basically what the point was trying to get across. So, well, Cerny, what's your outlook now on after they started canceling games? How are you feeling now?
I just hope it doesn't like stretch into, June or July. Hopefully it's just one of those, like, we're going to cancel opening day, and then maybe they get back together, and I think it's maybe like a ploy to hopefully, have everybody come together, or probably the ploy to make the players take more concessions. But
yeah,
I don't see that happening.
Do you think they start before?
Hopefully, if that tops, it's a week or two, kind of.
Yeah.
I hope that's the.
Do you think they start before or after the All-Star break? In July.
I'm going to say before. I think it'll be hashed out by.
Okay.
I don't think it'll be hashed out by mid-April.
Oh, another month to work it out. Okay, sounds good.
At the line.
And then, what do you think? What kind of damage do you think this is doing to the hardcore baseball fans? Are they still going to watch? Probably.
I think this is hurting,
or is it hurting a little bit?
Yeah, I think I don't think you'll.
Like, we're not going to stop
hardcore fans
liking baseball.
No. I think the hardcore fans will stay, but it's the. I think what it damages is like the youth and the people new to the game, because then it's like there's this ugliness and there's a stalemate, and they paint the players as greedy, and these could be kids' heroes and things of that nature. So it's never a good look.
Yeah, that's a really good point. I hadn't thought about that. And they have a whole issue already with getting enough players. I mean, players are playing, or kids are playing other sports. They're not being specialized anymore. There's a lot of things going around that they need young kids to be into baseball to feed your talent pool. Mm-hmm. So if you start, you're going to be bleeding out. Yeah, it might not happen for 20 years, but your product is going to suffer in the end. But I guess these owners aren't really caring too much about that. Everybody, this is Chip. Just wanted to cut in here and say all the shit we were talking about Zoom, our podcast software that we were using actually crashed, and we lost the last 10 minutes of the show. And of course, it was gold. We had this great bit about how Putin and Big Candy, like Nestle, and Bob Manfred, the MLB commissioner, were the trifecta of evil. It was hilarious. You'll just have to take my word for it. We're bummed we left it off the show, but thanks for listening this week, and See you on the next episode.